Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over the new trailer for A Safe House in the Hills, which is what the new DLC is officially going to be titled. Here in the background we have a trailer and you can see one of the locations for the new mansions. We're going to go over the trailer in just a moment, but first of all we're going to read through the newswire here. So it starts off by saying, "Own the extravagant residence of your dreams in GTA Online, A Safe House in the Hills," coming this December, so we know that's releasing on December 9th of this year. So it says here, "You've already built an empire, now let Pricks Luxury Real Estate erect your palace in GTA Online, A Safe House in the Hills," coming this December. The preeminent purveyors of luxury listings are breaking ground on a series of new property developments in some of Los Santos' most exclusive neighborhoods. These meticulously designed estates will feature sprawling grounds, breathtaking views, and first-rate amenities, including the latest in personal assistance and business service technology. What I'm thinking that means is that we're probably going to be able to spawn many or most vehicles that we own here, and I'm talking about like Pegasus vehicles. I'm talking about like ground Pegasus vehicles, not just like helicopters and stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm expecting, is that like if you want an insurgent pickup, for example, or like a monster truck, that you're probably going to be able to spawn them in at the mansion. That's my assumption is as to what that means. I also maybe would go as far as to say that it'll have like some sort of a mechanic included where you can like request a vehicle and go outside directly into your vehicle. Maybe something like that. And then business service technology. Now, surface level, I think that would suggest the addition of a master control terminal. Initially, that's what I would assume at least. However, I almost wonder this is maybe going to include the ability to send out, for example, your CEO cargo warehouse staff to go and source for you, maybe even Rooster in the hangar, in addition to the master control terminal, but maybe also having your acid lab show up on the master control terminal as well. That would be very cool at the least. I don't know that they would do all of that, but if they were going to do all of that, that would be pretty cool. So this mansion here that you guys can see in the background is the same one that we can see as the front image for A Safe House in the Hills. This is the one that's located right beside Mini Madrazo's mansion, near the Quartz building, sort of on the western side. Devin Weston's house would be over the hill here, as you guys can see where I'm pointing my mouse. Devin Weston's house is up there, sort of, like, actually it'd be more over here, really. It looks like there's a guard standing at the door, which I think is kind of cool. If we could have like armed guards at the door, that'd be kind of dope. It is a little bit different than Devin Weston's mansion though, because at Devin Weston's, there's not this entryway out to the balcony, so that is different. At least it's very minorly different. The driveway is also a different shape and everything, and there is a gate as well, which is interesting. I'm kind of hoping that's going to automatically open and you're not going to have to scratch your car every time you hit it, but wouldn't exactly surprise me if you did have to scratch your car every time you hit it, but I hope that's not the case. This is of course the Ubermarkt Revolter that you can get for free right now by completing those 3 new missions that Rockstar added into GTA Online last week. They're on double money this week, guys. And also, in case you were not aware, if you complete those missions, you will get $1 million bonus, which is cool. And you'll also get a $2 million discount on the new mansions, on one of the new mansions. So we're assuming that we can only buy one. We might be able to buy all 3. But it is also confirmed that there's only going to be 3 new mansions that are going to be purchasable in the game. One being Devin Weston's, one being this one, and the other one being just above the Vinewood Bowl. This is the other location where one of these is going to be. Now, this is the only one we actually haven't seen any images of. But being that both of the other ones are just Devin Weston's mansion, essentially just reskinned and replaced and slightly different, probably going to be the exact same, I would have to assume, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then basically on the newswire, it just like finishes off with saying what's going on this week with like the master penthouse being free at the Diamond Casino, which everybody should be getting, by the way, and everything like that. So make sure to do that. Now, as far as the trailer goes, let's go ahead and watch this, and we're going to try to break this down. There are some new cars in the trailer that I saw and stuff like that, so we're going to talk about this quick. All right, so in the trailer, this is the first shot here. It's just like, I don't know, nothing really special at all. Then we cut to this shot of a guy golfing, as you guys can see. Nothing too crazy here, just, yeah, golfing. We also have this shot here. I thought that this was at the new mansion location, the one that was going to be above the Vinewood Bowl, but it's way too far to the east, and the skyline is way too far to the right. So this is actually at the Diamond Casino, I do believe it is, and you can see the palm trees from the parking lot here. So that's awesome. The next part of the trailer here is from above a yacht, and it just shows some boats and a helicopter flying. We already have all of this stuff in GTA Online, so there's nothing new here. The next shot, though, we do have a shot of some of the new cars. So this is a new vehicle, I do believe. I think that that is going to be either a muscle car or a sports classic car. I think it's either a Ferrari or it's like a variation of the Imponte Phoenix, it kind of looks like. Then we also have this supercar here, which, well, I believe it's going to be a supercar. It looks like it might be electric, being based off of this little thing right here. That could be an electric motor. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Coil Cyclone and the Coil Cyclone 2. Could be a car with an engine, I'm not sure, but an electric supercar. I'm sure everybody's thrilled, like I am, about that. And then up here, I think this is a new car, but it very much looks like a Vapid FMJ. Like very, very much looks like a Vapid FMJ. It's got the holes in the sides, but it has a different spoiler option. Like that is not a Vapid FMJ spoiler option that's available. And the hood scoop's different. So unless they've gone and added customization to the Vapid FMJ, which I'm not saying is impossible, they definitely could have done that. I think this is a new car, or at least it's going to be a variant of the Vapid FMJ, I believe. That's my assumption right now. It just looks too much like a Vapid FMJ to not be somewhat related to the Vapid FMJ, I believe. But then there's one more shot here. Through the tree, we can just barely see this car right here, which kind of looks like an Eden Cognoscenti, but I don't think that it actually is. There's something different with the back end of it. I think that this is going to be either a new Enos, like a new Enos Rolls-Royce type of vehicle, or it's going to be a Benefactor, and it might be a Maybach, which would be really cool to see. We don't really have any of those in GTA Online. I guess the Cognoscenti would probably be the closest thing, but that's unfortunately kind of the only shot we have of it. I believe it's a new car, like I said. I think the back end is quite different from the Cognoscentis that are in GTA Online, but the front end definitely kind of reminds me of one. So it might be an updated Super Diamond, it might be an updated Cognoscenti, it might be a new Bentley, Mulsanne. Not really sure, but it does look like it's going to be a new car, so that is pretty interesting. Now, cutting a little bit further into the trailer here, as you guys can see, this is the mansion in question. Now, it is slightly different than Devin Weston's mansion. I'm going to put a screenshot of Devin Weston's house on screen right now, and as you guys can see, this pool is not on Devin Weston's mansion. The pool decking is different. The sort of structuring of the yard is definitely different. It's not the exact same. It looks like there might be some sort of a deck that goes out here, and I'm almost thinking that there might be a helipad there. If not, I do believe there's going to be a helipad on the roof, because we did see that in the initial sort of picture of one of the mansions. We saw a Velatus blade from the rotors sticking off over the top of the house. But as you guys can see, you can see the interior of the mansion from outside, which is pretty interesting. So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work and come into play, especially in an open session, like in a public session, for example. If you own this and another player owns this, these doors look like they're wide open. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work exactly. Like, is anybody just going to be able to walk into your crib? Like, I'm not really sure how this is all going to work. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interaction menu settings and things like that for it, which is pretty cool. But that is pretty interesting to me, and as you guys can see, the Velatus just flies by here as the trailer goes on. But unfortunately, that's like it for the trailer. There's nothing else included in the trailer at all. It just cuts to basically a safe house in the hills, and that's it. So I'm thinking hopefully we're gonna get some more info like as time goes on. Maybe next Friday, another trailer for the DLC. I feel like that would be pretty cool. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm feeling slightly disappointed, and I don't want to really push that sentiment too much, but it does feel slightly disappointing, I will say. We'll have to see what the other mansion looks like that's going to be above the Vinewood Bowl. But this one at least does look a little bit different. It looks like there's some sort of structure here, and it looks like there might be even another deck behind these trees. So I don't know, it's going to be at least a little bit different than Devin Weston's mansion. Potentially a master control terminal with maybe some additional features and maybe some additional features to spawn in vehicles, I'm hoping, but who really knows? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I am excited for the DLC. I'm just getting a little bit less excited because it doesn't feel like it's going to be as big as I was kind of hoping maybe, but I don't know. I'm not going to say too much yet. We need to get a little bit more information before making that judgment, I think. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't. Of course, consider subscribing if you're new. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace.